and put to rest some agitations in the public space. Mr. Speaker, first is the decision of the Minister for Communication and Digital Technology, Honorable Sam Nete-Joy. Mr. Speaker, on the 18th of February, it is reported from the Media Secretariat of the Ministry that he directed the closure of 7 radio stations, and this was with immediate effect. Mr. Speaker, in my view, the National Media Commission is the body responsible for making certain determinations and making recommendations as to the conduct of some of these radio stations in our country. I find it very strange that the minister would issue such a directive. I will therefore, Mr. Speaker, based on these concerns, pray that the leader of government business indulges the House to invite the minister to come and brief the House on what resulted in his actions. Mr. Speaker, he is answerable to this House and not only to the President that appointed him. So that is my issue 1. Issue 2. Mr. Speaker, issue 2 has to do with Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. Mr. Speaker, we all know that GBC is the nation's #1 media house. Every support needs to be given to GTV. I have been watching GTV, and they are one station that is able to reach the remote parts of our country. They need support. We've seen other media houses, particularly the private media houses, getting prominent lately in programs of the state. We don't see GTV doing live broadcasts. Mr. Speaker, if it's about resources, I would again want the Minister of Government Business to program the Minister of Communication and Digitalization to come to this House to brief us on steps that the ministry is taking to resource GBC. Mr. Speaker, they have very nice programs, especially their breakfast show, very educative. And if GBC does not get the support, they are likely to collapse. We don't want that to happen. So GBC would need support, and I would want the minister to address the House and assure us on steps that the ministry is taking in that endeavor. Mr. Speaker, there is also this issue of Galamsey. Mr. Speaker, the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Honorable Ama Kofi-Boa, came to this House to make a certain revelation. That revelation was to the effect that over 9 out of our 44 forest reserves have been completely taken over by illegal mining tax with impunity. He says that, Mr. Speaker, the Forestry Commission no longer has access to these forest reserves in the short term. He again explained that the Forest Guards and the Forestry Commission's Rapid Response Team are unable to confront these miners effectively because they lack the advanced weaponry the Galamsey operators possess. Mr. Speaker, he told us this only yesterday, Wednesday the 19th of February. Mr. Speaker, I wouldn't want to say this is very rich, but this is very alarming. And Mr. Speaker, the minister only lamented and fell short of assuring the nation what steps government was going to take to address this thing with alacrity. Mr. Speaker, I am on the basis of that also inviting the leader of government business to program the minister to come back and brief us on the intervention that he intends to put in place. We have the military to support government. Forestry Commission need resources. It cannot be said that ordinary citizens possess sophisticated weapons and therefore they are destroying our water bodies. Mr. Speaker, just this week, we had a number of statements being made on water situation in our country. A member made a statement on the situation of water supply. Our people are not getting potable water to drink. Mr. Speaker, in Winneba, the hospitals were complaining that Ghana Water is unable to provide water. We know water is life. Ghana Water has its own challenges, and our water bodies are also being polluted. So, Mr. Speaker, this is a time for the minister to be very proactive, and he needs to come to this house next week to assure the nation of the steps his ministry is taking to address this problem. Mr. Speaker, again on water, the persistent shortage of water has led residents in Greater Accra in particular to rely on expensive source of water. Mr. Speaker, we know how much water tankers cost, and people rely on sachet water and all. Mr. Speaker, these are serious matters, and we expect government to take action. Mr. Speaker, we have also been told by the leader of government business that His Excellency the President is going to be in this house next week, Thursday, as part of a constitutional imperative to present a message on the state of the nation. Mr. Speaker, Article 67 of the Constitution makes that provision. Well, we welcome the President, but whilst we patiently await the President, there are two issues I want the leader of government business to ferry to His Excellency the President, Jubilee. One, in the past, when His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo had to come here on a similar constitutional exercise, he had to wait for several hours before entering the chamber. I hope that the leader of government business will put in place the necessary support systems to allow an early entry of the President into this chamber. It is his maiden entry into this house. He should ensure that all nagging issues are addressed, and he should ensure that the President is safely brought in and he does his work in peace. The leader of government business has a duty. That is why he is the leader of the House, leader of government business, and majority leader. He is aware of the situation of this House. He is aware of the situation of the 187 and the 88. The leader of government business has a duty in communicating the concerns of this House to the President. My duty is to guarantee his peace in this House, but that will materially depend on the work of the majority leader. Mr. Speaker, I have told him what he is to do. I've been in that chair before, and I know what it is. Mr. Speaker, the second issue. In 2017, public sector workers enjoyed 12.5% increment. 2018, 11%. 2020, 15%. 2021, there was a 4% plus interim premium of 15%. 2022, there was 15% COLA on base salary. 2023, 30%. 2024, 23% between January and June. And then July to December was 25%. we have just had a paltry increment of 10%. The leader of government business must take note of this and inform His Excellency the President that these are the numbers he came to meet. The ordinary Ghanaian worker has a higher expectation in this 133 24-hour research economy. They have a legitimate expectation that President Mahama will do. If he cannot match it, he should do better. Mr. Speaker, the 10% is unacceptable. Mr. Speaker, last point. The last point before I resume my seat. Mr. Speaker, there are concerns about termination of appointment, and it's a matter that we are all expressing our reservations on. The government spokesperson is quoted by the media as having said, and quote, "Let me also put on record that this action has been taken not because of a perception or belief that they were MPP. It is because we know that the recruitment process were attended by irregularities." Honorable Felix Kwacho Fosu is quoted to have said this on Wednesday, the 19th February. Mr. Speaker, in law, there is something called ratification and rectification. These are guaranteed rights in Chapter 5 of the Constitution. If somebody has been employed and the government is of the view that these employments were irregular, what is the use of the system regularizing same through ratification or rectification? Mr. Speaker, why would the government send people away? And so far it is obvious that they are targeting NPP members. Mr. Speaker, it is so obvious that that is what the government is doing. Nurses are being sent home. Teachers are being sent home. Mr. Speaker, in fact, to worsen the situation, state-owned entities that are limited liability companies are also issuing letters. Mr. Speaker, I will plead with the leader of government business that he should take steps to address these matters. Mr. Speaker, I'm in the dispatch box, and leader knows that in the dispatch box there can be a point of order. I'm in the dispatch box. There can be a point of order, and he knows that. My respected leader knows it. I have good reasons for coming here. So, Mr. Speaker, the ordinary Ghanaian has a legitimate expectation that upon receiving an appointment letter, until he does something wrong or does anything against the company rules and regulations, he's supposed to remain in the employ of that institution. Mr. Speaker, state-owned institutions have employed Ghanaians, and today they are being given letters, go home. They are sacking them. Mr. Speaker, look at the extent to which cholera is affecting our people. People are in hospitals.
Leader,
and nurses. Mr. Speaker, I'm concluding. That's why I said the last point. Because, Mr. Speaker, this is an appeal to the leader of government business to ferry same to government. Mr. Speaker, people are being sent home, particularly nurses. And these nurses are in the countryside to save lives. Teachers are in various communities teaching, and they are being told that pack and go home. Mr. Speaker, menyo SSNto, tro, no kejo. Mr. Speaker, no kejo. Na Ghana, the view employment. Na sack. No kejo. Cho. Mr. Speaker, cho. Mr. Speaker. In other words, I'm saying that then ekosui aden obi enyejuma mo pamo mo cho. Mr. Speaker, menyo me the kukuna government employ the people back. Mr. Speaker, me the kuku now.
Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, thank you.
Thank you very much.